What's poppin', all stars? Welcome back to my channel. It's Damn She Jamaican, your biggest and brightest shining star. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about calling the police on your parents when they beating your ass. Alright, so y'all know say I go by the name Damn She Jamaican, so you know say I grew up in Jamaica. Alright, I just had to speak a little patois so y'all can know y'all fucking with a real nigga. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I lived there for 10 years and then I moved to the United States when I was 10 and I'm 20. So I lived half my life there, half my life here. Now growing up in Jamaica, beating your kids is very normal. It's very normalized. Like I mentioned in my last video about child abuse, make sure y'all go check that out. I was stating that child abuse is very normal and people beat their kids. The teachers are allowed to beat you. You know, it's like discipline and physical abuse goes hand in hand in Jamaica. So in my family dynamics, that's something that they use as a tactic for discipline. Alright, so keep that in mind. So when I moved here to the United States, well, first of all, in Jamaica, I would get whoopings from my teachers and my mom, because I live with my mom. So, you know, they'd beat my ass and shit if I was like rude or I did something that they perceived was rude or perceived that wasn't right, you know. So I'd get punished that way. I'd get hit with a belt or like a switch from a fucking tree. I remember one time like I got a jug of water thrown at me, like like all types of shit, and I'm laughing because it's like fuck, it's fucked up, but it's how I was raised, and so I was raised to think that shit was normal, but it really wasn't. So with that being said, when I moved to the United States and I started being around all these white people, and I started seeing how other people treated their kids, and I started realizing that, you know, in the American society, American culture, physical abuse and hitting your kids was frowned upon, especially in the Caucasian race. So I was like, dang, like, okay. So at school they would say, or on programs, TV programs, Disney or whatever, you know, in the Americanized world, it would say, you know, if your parents beat you, you should call the motherfucking police. So I started living with my dad when I was 10, and I was living with him, and so he has a lot of anger, and I'm not judging my dad no one's parents are perfect. I'm just sacrificing my life to because I want to, and I have the opportunity to do so. I'm not being forced to do this. I'm just doing it because it's my purpose. Now, I've been through a lot of situations just to live to tell the tale, so let me do my job. He's not a bad person, but he's done some shit that I wouldn't do if I was a parent. Let's just put it out there how it is. Now, yeah, so I used to experience a lot of physical abuse from my father. But when I was little, I would experience my parents fight a lot. So I would experience that. And that hurt me in a way because I used to see my parents fight back and forth, and it was real physical, it was real abusive. And then I was living alone with my dad, and my parents had separated, and now I was the one that was getting beaten and hit. You know, I was fighting my dad, you know, and I was this this abuse continued even when I was in high school. It continued for years. And I remember I would always I'd be at school, I'd be crying, you know, I'd be saying like, damn, like I'm sitting here getting beat and I'm still in high school. Like, you know, even when I was in middle school, like that shit was going on. Like I'll come home and my dad would always come home at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes even before then, like we'd always get into a fight, you know, and it was just bad. Like it was really bad. It was really bad. I've actually suppressed a lot of it because that was my way of coping, was just by suppressing it and making it seem normal. And when I went out in public and when me and my dad were around like other family members or people that, you know, knew us, I would make it, you know, seem like, oh my, I would put on like a fake smile, like, oh, he's so great, you know, like, but behind closed doors it was much more serious. And then, you know, than just putting a blind eye to it, like you weren't just beating my ass, you know, like what the fuck. And it would just be for stupid shit, like it wouldn't even be for nothing serious. So I'm gonna tell you guys about the time when I tried to get my license and I was trying to buy a car. So I was about 16, 17 years old. I've been working ever since I was 14, saving up, working to save up for a car, you know, just working, taking care of my little stuff, buying my little clothes, everything I own, from my camera to everything I fucking own, I literally bought by myself. Everything. You know, my dad provided the roof and the food, and I appreciate that. And I'm gonna say that again, I appreciate that, because that's what he was supposed to do. Okay? That's what he was supposed to do. He had me, I didn't have him. So that was his responsibility. But with that, with parenting, there's much more that comes with that. And I'm not a parent, but I am a parent. I'm gonna let you ponder that, the fuck I mean by that, because a lot of you niggas don't understand life on a deeper level like I do. So sometimes a lot of words that I say might fly the fuck over your head. You might just judge me, but whatever, I'm not here for that. I'm just talking. People who resonate, they'll resonate. When I was 17, I saved up for my car. I had a lot of money in the bank. I was ready to buy a car. I was going to school I was going to driving school to learn how to drive, so you know I could drive and get my car. And I remember asking my dad to show me how to drive, to teach me how to drive. Now mind you, I wasn't supposed to ask him that. He was supposed to offer that, and it was supposed to be his responsibility to be like, yo, it's time for you to learn how to be like, yo, it's time for you to learn how to drive. We gonna set this time apart from the day and we gonna figure some shit out. Now with him, my dad used to always talk bad about me and always made me feel real bad about myself. So he'll always tell me, you don't listen, you're stubborn, I'm not gonna let you drive my car because you don't listen and you think you know everything. Literally, that's all he used to say. And on a mental level, that fucked me up in the long run, like even to this day. And I have to force myself to speak my own truth and my own knowledge, because subconsciously I have this man in the back of my head saying, you don't know nothing, you think you know too much, but you don't know nothing, you don't listen. And so that, like, it's like a contradiction within me. But besides that, he didn't want to teach me how to drive, and he didn't want me to get a car. He didn't want me to be independent at all. So that was very abusive. But that's not even where the story goes. I remember going up to him and telling him, hey, I have like over $3,000 ready to buy my car. You know, I just need you to come co-sign it with me. No, you're not ready. Even though I'm going to driver's ed and I'm taking driving school because you don't want to show me how to drive. So I have to go out my own pocket to go to a school for them to show me how to drive. No, you're not getting a car. What? I saved up my money all these years and I can't get a car? I've worked so fucking hard for this. Why can't I do it? I know how to drive. Why can't I get a car? So we're going back and forth. He's telling me I'm not ready, and I'm seeing all these other kids around me driving to school now, and I'm sitting here like, what makes me so different? You know? And that's where this low self-esteem started building up even more too, and me started feeling like I'm less than people when I truly wasn't. And this is just because of how I was raised. So I had to like deprogram myself from these thoughts. That's besides the point for now. But I was infuriated. I was so mad. I was so angry. I was beyond angry because I couldn't. This is my right. Like, I had the right to do this, you know? And you're telling me I can't because you're my parent and you say so? Oh, hell no. So with that, we got into a huge altercation, and I remembered I started crying, and he would be like, why are you crying? Every time I would cry, literally and I wrote a song, Living My Life. I was told shedding tears is a weakness, bro, but empty out the bucket to fill it up some more. Listen to my song, Living My Life. I really spilled a lot about my childhood in that song. But anyways, yeah, like I was just taught that. But I was just crying because he was saying I couldn't get a car and all that. And then next thing you know, he gets mad and he just starts hitting me. Picked up the pillow, started banging it on my head. Then when he saw that I was blocking off the pillow, like, he would try and hit me with his hand and all that. And then, mind you, this was been going on for years. And this was that time when I, like, was really fed up. And I was like, bro, like, you're not finna keep hitting me. Like, I'm fucking 17 years old. And you're sitting here beating my ass. Like, what the fuck? So I was like, bro, I'm done. Like, this is not happening. Like, you're not. What the fuck? So I remember we got into a fight. And this time I literally fought back. I was punching, I was wilding, I was kicking, I was screaming. I did not give a fuck. Like, I really fought back. Because I was tired of it. Seeing this man beating on my sister, beating on my mom, like, being so angry to the point where he can turn in a blink of an eye. Like, that shit's scary. And it fucking traumatized me, bro. Traumatized me. And it's so hard. I don't know why I keep coming on my fucking YouTube channel and just exposing shit. But it needs to be said, and I'm brave enough to do it. But I've been through a lot of shit, bro. For real. And I was made to think this shit's normal. And it's fucking not. So we got into a fight, and I was like, yo, I'm calling the cops. I'm done. I'm calling the cops. And as a Jamaican parent or a Caribbean parent or a Latino parent, Hispanic, whatever, your parent gonna say, or if you're from a black family, your parent gonna say, if you call the cops and you send me to jail, when I come out and beat your ass. Or, shit like that. Like, oh, you gonna call the cops on me? You're never supposed to call the cops on your parents. Like, that's the type of home I grew up in. You don't call the cops on your parents. But I was tired, bro. I was getting hurt. I was getting hit, beaten, kicked, stomped, everything. I'm trying not to cry. And I'm not even gonna cry. Because I fucking can't. I feel like I'm all cried out. Now I just want to get it out my system and help other people that's been through it. So I told him after we got done fighting, I said, yo, I'm calling the cops because you're not going to do this ever again. And I was so scared. I didn't want to call the cops because if you do that, it's like a sign of betrayal. You know, in a family unit, it's a sign of betrayal. Just like this video is going to be some kind of betrayal. But it's really not. It's just me speaking what the fuck really happened. But niggas like to keep secrets, and niggas like to not be authentic and not be real with who they are. And I'm not that bitch. Damn, she Jamaican, don't give a damn at all. I don't. Call the cops. He was like, I'm gonna sit here and watch you to see if you really gonna do it. I dial 911 and I call that motherfucking police. Not because I wanted him to get arrested. No. Not because. I didn't. I called him because I wanted to strike fear. Because that's what he's been doing to me for so long. So I just wanted to do it back. I wanted to be like, yo, you can't beat me no more. And that was the only way I knew he wasn't gonna do it. Is because if I got his ass on record. And I didn't give a fuck. And still to this day, I don't give a fuck. You think I give a fuck? You know why I don't give a fuck? Because there's other women out there. And my dad has another kid. 17 years apart from me. And my baby mama. I don't know who he may meet in the future, but he needs to be checked for his anger, and it's not okay. And I don't give a fuck who I'm talking about. I'm gonna talk shit, and I'm gonna speak the truth. Only because I've been targeted and hurt so much. This is not me hurting anybody back. This is actually me giving love. It is. Once I called the police and he sat there and watched me dial the number, he's never hit me ever since then. And every time he wanted to, he always brings that up. I'm gonna beat your ass and you can call the cops if you want to, but he never did. Because he's on record of doing it. So if he gets hit, if the situation were to ever go down like that, and he would be taken to jail real quick. I didn't care. I still don't care to this day. Because you don't have the right to put your hand on nobody. Because you don't own people. A child is a gift from God. A fucking gift. Okay? You don't hit people you love. You don't. It hurts. It actually hurts really fucking bad. And it stays with a girl her entire life. Her entire life. She don't get those images out. So I called the cops and they came. And you know, on the phone they asked me if he had any weapons, and I said yeah, because he did. I didn't give a fuck about that either. He got his gun taken away, and I'm glad he did, because I don't know, man. He don't trust me, and I don't trust him. He'll tell you. He don't trust me. You really don't trust me after seeing this video, and I know. But I don't give a damn. I'm damn she Jamaican, bitch. I don't give a damn. I don't. Because I'm not doing anything wrong. You probably did something wrong if I'm making a video about my truth, but you feel bad about it. That means you did something wrong. I'm just speaking my truth. And like I said, it doesn't matter who it is that's abusing you. it doesn't make it okay. It don't matter if they're family, your boyfriend, your sister, your dog, nigga. It don't matter. Should nobody be abusing you. Your body is your body, and no one is supposed to hit you and harass you and torment you. It's not okay. This video gonna have a lot of dislikes. Go ahead, dislike. Make sure you dislike this video. Share it. Talk shit. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm the one that should be mad. The fuck. So yeah, once I called the cops, bro, it never happened again. And I left home. I left and I said deuces. I didn't tell nobody where I was going. It was too much to handle. It was too much. It was a lot. And Seattle's a very depressed place to live. And I wasn't going to continue living there, bro. I'd off myself. Like, seriously, I would have. And I keep saying that. I would have stayed in there, fucking with that. Had to get about that abuse. And I've always expressed to other family members what I was going through, but they experienced it themselves, and they thought it was normal themselves, so they didn't know better. They knew no better. I'm not blaming nobody for nothing. This is my life. I created my life before I was born. I knew, my spirit knew what it wanted to experience. So I'm not mad at anybody. People are just playing a role in the movie. It's literally a fucking movie. And people are just playing their roles, and I'm just sitting here narrating it and telling the story again. That's all it is. So if somebody think they, you know, if you, only thing when I called them, they did take away his gun, and they put his name down, I think, for, you know, abuse in the home. You know, they told me, they gave me some pamphlets and shit. They told me to call them, reach out if anything ever happened again, domestic violence or whatever. I never had to. But that night I packed some of my stuff and I went to my friend's house. And I was staying there. And then, yeah, I went back home and it was kind of awkward. And that kind of like, that's when he knew, like, yeah, you can't really fuck with me no more. But it's not okay, bro. And you should call the fucking cops, because it would make them stop. And if it don't, I understand where you're coming from, and you need to seek help. If your parents or your foster mom, foster dad, if somebody is abusing you, like beating you, hitting you, hitting you, like, that's not okay. It's never been okay, and it never will be okay. So don't ever think that someone's doing that shit out of love, because that's not what it is. They're doing it because they're selfish and they're angry about something, and they're taking it out on you, and you don't deserve that. So this video is already really long, but that's what I wanted to say about this. Just make sure that you utilize that to your advantage, because sometimes, like, it's needed to call the police, like, or to call the authorities, because you're so young, you know. You're not betraying anybody. You're literally thinking of yourself. That's called self-love. You're thinking of yourself first. You're not putting other people, you're not putting a fucking title, my nigga. You're not putting blood over who you are, like, and protecting and conserving your sanity and your body and everything. Like, protect yourself. If you need help and you feel like that's what you gotta do, you gotta call the police, you have to. You have the opportunity to do so. If you can seek help somewhere else, you don't feel like you need to involve the authorities, please do so. But if it's a problem that's really bad and you don't know what your parents are capable of, then you need to at least let someone be aware of what's going on. Alright? So don't feel bad if you have to result in doing something like that. It's a part of life, because I've experienced it, and it's just something we'll have to just get through and learn more about. But yeah, don't feel bad. Make sure that you do protect yourself. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this topic or know someone that's going through this, make sure that you go ahead and share the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a dislike if you hating, and comment down below. Let's start some dialogue. Let us and other people know that we're not alone in this situation. And I will see you in the next one. Peace. You know, I'm looking in the mirror and I just don't like the person that I see. And it's taking everything inside of me not to pretend that I'm that chick I know I've always wanted to be. But here I am, showing you that what you see is not what it's all cracked up to be. Living my life, up and down, things ain't going right. No. Feel like I needed something to escape this world.